Hi, it's Ivona, and today we're here with Malcolm from Beaumont Tiles, and we're discussing the properties of ceramic and porcelain tiles and the differences between those and a few other things. So, Malcolm, welcome and thank you for participating
Thank you.
in our little conversation.
Yep.
Just wanted to ask what are the different properties between porcelain and ceramic tiles, and what's the impact on quality and so on?
Okay, so basically a ceramic tile you would only use on the wall. Ceramic tile will have a softer biscuit on the back of the tile, so you really don't want that in an area where you're going to put any weight on it.
Yeah.
So it's a wall tile, and a wall tile being a tile very similar to these, which very popular gloss or matte tiles, but only really a wall tile. Whereas then you come into a porcelain tile. Porcelain is a tile that's basically got a glass content, which makes it the porcelain side. Porcelain can go anywhere, whereas ceramic only in the walls. Porcelain can go on the floor and on the walls, so you can have floor up the wall and continue on that same tile and same look going through there. You can get different finishes, of course. I mentioned here you've got gloss and matte. When you go into, or satin I should say, when you go into a ceramic porcelain tile, you go into a matte tile, or you go into what these two here is called, which is a microtech. Matte does not have a slip rating. Microtech has a slip rating. So microtech starts at P4 of a slip rating and can go, when it gets wet, up to a P5, which is a very good slip rating. They can go inside and outside as well, but perfect for a bathroom floor, as is also a matte tile.
Malcolm, there are different finishes on the tiles, and some customers are worried that markings will stay on the tiles. So let's do a little demonstration and show us how easy they are to keep clean with the different finishes.
Yeah, definitely. Your different finishes, as we spoke about just before, you've got gloss, which is the same as the one that we've got here. Then you'll have a satin, which will be in your ceramic tiles. When you go into porcelain tiles, you've traditionally got a matte tile, a silk surface, a gloss, a polished tile. So there's many different finishes that you can have, but they are all non-porous.
So nothing can go through them,
Nothing,
not even red wine.
nothing.
Not that you'd have it in the bathroom, maybe not.
Don't spill your red wine, you're supposed to drink it, but if you spilt red wine on there and you left it there, you would have to scrub to get it off.
But it would still come off.
It's not soaking in,
okay.
Right? You'd have to scrub to get it off, but it is not going in. Okay, they are non-porous, and all the tiles are non-porous. So just to show you what it's like, this is a permanent marker that we've got. So if you had a permanent marker, if these were porous tiles, that would stay on.
That's pretty good.
Right, there's nothing there, and there's nothing there.
Right.
So because they have been sealed properly when they've been made, there is nothing actually that is going to sink into them. So you don't have to worry about them being dirty or staying dirty. If they are dirty, you've just got to be cleaned a bit more, because nothing can get into it.
Fantastic. So Malcolm, we're doing a lot of 300 by 600 tiles and a lot of 600 by 600s on walls and floors in bathrooms. Are you seeing the same kind of popularity of these tiles?
Yeah, look, definitely. It's 3x6 is definitely the largest seller that we've got, mainly because a lot of the bathrooms are smaller. When you run into an ensuite, it's only a small area. People don't want to have too big a tile, because all of a sudden you have a lot of wastage or you start losing your grout lines. But 6x3 is very common, popular sort of tile. And a 6x6, yep, a 6x6 will be exactly the same. So 3x6 and 6x6 are without doubt the best selling tiles that we do, of sizes, that run through for bathrooms, purely because of the space that you've actually got to work with.
So a lot of clients think that the 1200 by 600 should be cheaper to lay because they're a bigger tile and they cover more surface area.
Okay.
What do you have to say about that size of tile, which is what we've got in here?
Yeah. All right. In theory, I can understand why they think that, but when you get a 600 by 1200 tile, a 600 by 1200 tile needs more adhesive under it, so there's more cost in there, but also a 6 by 12 is big. And a 6 by 12 tile will actually need 2 people to do it. So instead of the tiler working by himself doing it, you've actually got 2 people there doing it. So you've got the increased cost of the installers. You've basically got an extra wage that you're paying into. So that's where that's where you would think it's cheaper, but it's not. Just purely because of the excess labour that has to go into doing it.
Yeah, it's probably better in larger scale bathrooms as well.
Larger scale bathrooms, most definitely, because then you can utilise the size of the tile. If it's a smaller bathroom, you end up getting too many cuts in the tile, and you may have one full tile in the run, and all the other ones are cuts. If you're going to do that, you might as well go back to a 6 by 6 or a 6 by 3.
Yeah. All right. So Malcolm, we've decided on our tiles now, whatever they may be. How do we calculate how many we need? What's the calculation and how does that work?
Okay. General rule of thumb for tiles, when you've got something like a 6 by 3 or a 6 by 6, which is your common size tile or your most popular tile that we spoke about before, is 10% extra. Now, 10% extra, but there's always variation. In this room, or this particular room, where you've got your door jamb, your tiler's done the right thing and he's centered the line in the middle. So your room has become symmetrical with your tiles, otherwise it would look out of place. So that's perfect. What's happened with that is that this tile over in the corner there, that means that tile is roughly about 350. So the tile that you've had to cut, you've got 250 left behind. Now, because you've got 250 left behind, you may not be able to use that 250.
Yeah, which we haven't in here.
So that offcut is now gone, and because it's gone, that's wastage. So 10% is a general rule of thumb and normally gets most people through. On the odd occasion, you might need to get more. If that door was in a different place and your tiles fitted in beautifully going across, you may be left with an extra box or 2 of tiles. If you're left with an extra box or 2 of tiles, do not return them. Do not throw them out. Do not do anything except for keep them. All right? Yeah. Tiles are made in batches, and batches can alter size of the tile ever so slightly, but it will always alter the undertone of colour. And if you had this tile that got broken and you didn't have a spare and you went and got another one, that tile compared to this one would look different because it would be a different undertone of colour and it would stand out. So if you do have anything left after your 10% extra, there's an extra box or 2 lying around, that's a good thing.
Keep it in the garage.
That 100%, that's a good thing.
What about having 2 different tiles on the wall, such as we have here? Is there any difference in the sizes of the tiles from different maybe brands or different colours?
Yeah, definitely. Look, customers will quite often do something like you've got here and have 2 different tones of tiles on the wall or different sizes or styles. These ones are, for want of a better term, the same size. They're both known as 6 by 3 tiles.
Yeah, that's how we bought them.
Right. 6 by 3 doesn't necessarily mean it's 6 by 3. If it's Italian, it's 295 by 595. If it's from Spain, it's 298 by 300. By 600. If it's from China, it could well actually be 300 by 600. Right? Okay. The difference that's going to happen is when you change tiles, you can get different size tiles, and if you get different size tiles, your grout lines may not marry up.
Not 100%.
Okay? Now, if they don't marry up 100%, The worst thing you can do is get creepage. And creepage is, if you start them perfectly at that end, but this tile's a different size than that one, the further down the wall you go, the bigger the difference is going to get.
And it becomes noticeable.
It becomes very noticeable.
Yeah, okay.
So if there is too much, these ones are actually quite good. These ones look like a very similar size, which is great. So the tiler's done a great job there. If the size is too great, your tiler will offset them, which means that the grout lines will be offset to begin with, which means your creepage won't be noticeable because he won't offset them perfectly halfway. He'll 3/4 or do something.
Okay.
Right? And you'll never notice a creepage. You'll get a beautiful finish and all done.
Yeah. So Malcolm, what about price difference in tiles? Does a higher price tile mean you're going to get a better tile or a better look than a lower price tile?
A higher price tile will be of it will normally have a different component of the biscuit underneath. It will traditionally be fired more times. The glazing process will be different, and that's most likely where the cost of it comes into it. The other costs that come into the tiles for the price is going to be where it's manufactured. You get a tile that's manufactured in Italy, it's going to be more expensive because the cost of living in Italy is more expensive, the freight from Italy is more expensive, and so on. You get a tile from Spain, it'll be in the middle of the range. You get a tile from China, and the cost of manufacturing in China is lower. So the cost of the product landed will actually be better. So it becomes a more affordable product. Is there a difference in the tiles? The firing of the product is obviously different, and that's where the manufacturing comes in. Is a tile from China at a lower price point than some of the others going to perform differently? No, it's not. It's still non-porous. It's still going to work 100% the way it's supposed to. And if it's laid correctly and Tyler does the right thing, it will perform perfectly. So, Beaumont's pride themselves on only having good tiles that are square and flat. It doesn't matter where your price point is. It's what you're looking for in a tile that makes the difference. And hopefully we can make that happen for you.
Malcolm, what are some of the trends that you're seeing coming from overseas and from other places in Australia maybe?
Yeah, look, we're seeing a lot of trends coming through. Obviously, larger tiles coming through. So when you get to the Italian market, which is coming through with the larger ones, which we had a look at these before, which are 6x12s. They're very popular. We're also seeing a lot of natural stone looking tiles, so ones that would give the effect that they've actually been cut out of side of a mountain. The marble sort of thing. So a lot of that's coming back into it, which is very good. A lot of the tiles these days are not very plain, so we're seeing a lot of tiles that have patterns running through them, which is fantastic because it shows a lot of variation in the floor, but also what it does is that it has to be shown and pointed out to people what the variation is. Because if they just see one tile, they're going to say, well, that's what it is, and then they see the next tile and it looks very different. When you put it all as a package, it actually looks really good. So it's making sure that people see that. But that's one of the trends that are coming through. So size of tiles is changing. We say larger tiles are changing on the floors and the walls, but when you get to subway tiles, which would be a traditional subway tile like that, that's now considered quite a big tile for a subway. The other smaller tiles here are now becoming very much more popular. So they are your trends that are heading as well. Once again, as I mentioned before, with the larger tiles, with trending and going into having different faces in the patterns, So you've got the same tile over and over again. These are the same sort of setup. So you can see all the different tones that run through here. That is the same tile. So you'll get that in, you order a box of tiles, that's what you're going to get. So it's not just that same tile. So that a wall of being broken up into different colours and patterns is now becoming very popular.
And it looks like it's handmade. It looks like a natural kind of almost natural product.
Yeah,
yeah,
they do. They do. They've got a little bit of structure about them, so it makes it a nicer tile than just a plain flat wall.
Yeah. Malcolm, what's the biggest mistake that you see people make when they're renovating?
Biggest mistake that we see that people make is that they don't ask questions.
As in what tiles are suitable for the area?
They may not tell us what they're actually doing and what their job is, and they will buy tiles that are not suitable. They may buy bathroom wear that doesn't suit. The colours aren't right. You put the wrong coloured tapware with the wrong coloured tile, like a warm with a cold, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Some people don't know that and they can't see it because that's not their job, that's not their business that they're in. So the biggest mistake they make is that they don't have a consultation.
Which is free.
Which is free.
Yeah.
Right? All of our Bowman stores have free consultations. All you've got to do is make a phone call and ring up to make the consultation. Make it through you as well and AAA. And we will make that consultation for you. So come to the store, tell us what you're doing, explain what you've got. The more information, the better. And then we'll take you through the whole thing and make sure that everything is going to fit, all the colours are going to work together, and you're going to get the right product for the job.
And enough too.
So and enough. And enough. Yeah. And delivered on time as well, which is even better for the installer as well. So, but yeah.
Okay, well that's fantastic advice again, because it's all free and it's all there. So people just need to use it.
100%.
Well, thank you, Malcolm, for partnering up with AAA Build. The collaboration is great, and we're really enjoying working with Beaumont Tiles.
Yeah, no, thank you for the opportunity. It's it's always good to get strong builders that we know that we can rely on and send our customers to. And Beaumont has a big name in the industry. And if we can be good partners with people like AAA Build, it's great for our business and great for yours as well.
Yeah, win-win.
Yeah, exactly. No worries. Thank you.